What's up? Look, so I had an amazing conversation with my dad this morning, and I'm really focused on the how would I say it? Really focused on what is going on in the spirit realm. And there's a lot of people who are concerned about the upcoming election. It's funny because there's people on both sides. I hate the both sides kind of thing, but you'll understand why I'm saying that in a second. There's people on both sides who are acting as if it's going to be the end of the world, whoever wins. And my thought process is this: it does not matter who is in the office. And I'm sorry, like, you can disagree with me all you want, but show me where Yahushua was cared, where he cared about politics, where he advocated for a political position. It is my perception that truth, justice, and righteousness are not within the realm of the left and right paradigm. On one side, they say, they talk about abortion, but they negate the kids in cages. On another side, maybe for some people, feeling that to be pro-choice is a sin. But what I'm here to talk about is the fact that Yahushua came to deliver us from a religious system. He came to deliver us from a religious system that doesn't produce anything but death. Think about it. The law only produced death to those who could not keep it, which is, most of Israel could not keep the law or refused to keep the law. So now Yahushua came, conquered death, hell, and the grave, and said, it's your turn. So my dad said that persecution, in America, we act like the gays getting married is persecution. Oh, because abortion is legal, that's persecution. No, persecution is worldwide famine. Persecution is injustice pervading throughout government. That's persecution. And one thing to be sure, now I don't advocate for anarchy. But one thing is for sure, we can look in scripture and see that government is contrary to what the Most High had in mind, which would make sense on why he did not want to set up a kingdom in this world. He didn't. The disciples did not get it. He kept telling them, like, look, y'all, my kingdom is not of this world. It's not of this world. And anybody who understands and is a believer in the Most High understands that, we are just passing through. And for those who think that America is a Christian nation, I'm just like, have you ever been to Washington, D.C.? Have you ever looked around at all of the different type of idols, statues, obelisks? Have you ever looked around and understood the meaning of those things and where those things come from? Would a Christian nation have such things? And see, look, I believe that one of the most patriotic things you can do is criticize your government, criticize your country, because that is exercising your free speech under the Constitution. And to critique something doesn't mean that you condemn something. So you can critique without condemning. And I think having a mind to want to critique rather than condemn is important. Otherwise, our silence is our compliance. And I don't think it's time to be silent about anything. It's time to speak out about the injustices that are happening. If we were a Christian nation, then in the midst of a pandemic, we'd be talking about healthcare. But our citizens don't have healthcare. But Israel does. What's up with that? We get billions of dollars in aid. And I understand there's foreign policy and, those kinds of things. But to me, it's still not an excuse on why Americans at large cannot have or receive healthcare. And I know that it's not going to be perfect. Well, the system we don't have now, the system we have now is not perfect. But there has to be something better. In the midst of a pandemic, we still don't have healthcare. And I just want to let you know, in continuation of the video yesterday, I have options. You do have options. And the option is to put your life in the hands of the creator of the universe. The hands of the creator who created everything that we see, created a human body, created our spirits to live inside of a human body. And when I think about it like that, what is there to worry about? What is there to worry about who's going to be in the presidential seat? Because we know what is going to come if we read in the scripture. And when we read in the scripture, it lets us know the love of many shall wax cold. Are we not seeing that now? Are we not seeing the things that humans are doing to one another? Are we not seeing the ramifications of that? And I talked about it on my Facebook show called Vibe-litical. If you just search Vibe-litical, you can find a bunch of our episodes. I think we're up to about 13 now. But in the show Vibe-litical, we talk about important things that are going on in the world right now. And one of those things is it was like the spirit just hit me while we were talking about the show. The title of the show was The Power of Empathy. And what hit my spirit was that these satanic agendas, these satanic powers are trying to fragment your empathy. Feel bad for this, but don't feel bad for that. It's like trying to hijack your mentality on what's going on for you to feel a certain type of way. And I'm just like, what is the purpose for that? What's the real situation about? Why does our empathy have to be fragmented? Why can't we care about healthcare and care about immigration? Why can't we be concerned about the economy and people's lives? It's like they always post this left-right paradigm. It's either one or the other. But guess what? For me, I'm going to stand for righteousness, truth, and justice. Regardless of what everyone else is saying, regardless of the political arena, to me, those things are not for sale. Those things cannot be bought. Those things cannot be sold. It's important. You have options. Don't get it twisted. It does not matter who wins or loses the election, because we already know that they're setting everything up for there to be some type of election fraud. Take a didactic look, as my friend likes to say. Take a panorama, back up and look at the entire situation and see what we're dealing with here. And see that who are we better than? And if our care for and our empathy and our willingness and our thoughts towards other humans doesn't include truth, justice, and righteousness, then we are sinners. If the church can't get racism right, who can? We don't need, believers in the Most High don't need a governmental document to tell you that all humans are created equal. You have all of that in them 66 books in the canon. You have all of it there. But the thing is, if you're going to live by it, if you're going to read it, I think that's the real issue right there, is that people are not reading the scriptures. People aren't praying. And the church is just so concerned with money and power and their position that they can't get these things right. But if we're going to bring ourselves up higher, then we have to go lower. And when I say lower, what I'm talking about is our attitude of self. The fact that, we have to prioritize and understand who we are, who the Most High made us to be, and how we can exemplify Him in the entire world. Okay? So know that I'm praying for you. Know that I'm praying for you. And I pray that most of all that your faith fail not, And if you haven't started on your faith journey by giving your life to Yahushua HaMashiach, Jesus Christ the Messiah, I pray that you do so ASAP. And, you know, I'll be back.